Okay, so I thought I'd squeeze in a little video before the end of the year, and this is going to be a kind of shortish, maybe a series, but I'll show you how to tune up a Japanese chisel. Japanese chisels, like Western chisels, they don't come fully prepared for you to use when you buy them. Even the high-end ones, they still need a bit of kind of tuning up and a little work before they can do some, proper work. So I have a chisel. This is a dovetail chisel actually, but the process is the same for all kind of bench chisels. This is a 6mm dovetail. You can see it's pretty standard. White oak handle, it's got the hoop and the blade. So the first thing you need to do is to set the hoop. This probably has most people kind of stumped on like how to do it, what's the proper process. So that's the first thing we need to do, because to set the hoop you need to kind of sacrifice the edge of the blade a bit, because you need to kind of hammer it down. So best not to sharpen it first. So to set the hoop, you first need to get a piece of wood. Well, you need to get it off first, and to do that you need to get a piece of wood or some kind of material with a hole in it. You measure the diameter of the shaft here, the handle, so that you can drill a hole in a piece of wood and your chisel will drop in. This is so you can tap it out from the top, and doing it this way prevents you marking up the handle. So I've got the piece of wood. You'll need a dowel or something to actually tap, obviously, to get that out, and you'll need some sort of device to set it back on. I'll get close, kind of more detailed into this as we get around to using it. But you don't need one, and I'll show you how to kind of, make your own, as it were. But okay, so we'll take a close up on how to do the hoop. So to get the hoop off, you clamp your pre-made hole in your wood in your vise, drop your chisel through. If you actually have a chisel whose blade is kind of wider than this handle diameter here, you can cut a slit in, or cut the block in half and then clamp up the chisel that way. Okay, so do this, clamped it up. Actually, make sure you have something soft under here so that your chisel doesn't just fall straight through and kill itself. But it's as simple as tapping it out. And it's slowly but surely coming out. And there we go. So we have this off. And you can see the hoop kind of left a indent, and that's a good thing, but you can't have that so that the hoop doesn't want to go down any further. So the next thing you need to do is you need to make it so the hoop can sit on here quite evenly. Before you do that though, depending on the kind of quality or the price point of your chisel, the hoop that you got with your chisel might not be smooth on this inside. The hoop came off like this, and if you actually look at the inside of the hoop here, I'll give you a close-up actually. So here we have the hoop. You can see this is the end where the handle comes out here, and you can see there's a bevel. You can kind of see that. So I won't have to do any work on this particular hoop because it's quite a nice chisel. But if you don't have a bevel here, then basically you'll just be cutting away the handle wood fibers, and you won't get a tight fit. Whereas a bevel, it will kind of force the wood into the hoop and compress it more for a tighter fit. So if you don't have a bevel, get a round file and kind of create one. It doesn't have to be a huge bevel, as you can see here, just small enough so that you take the edge off the kind of the edge here, the hole. So once you've done that, it's time to tend to the handle so that this can fit on nicely. So here I've got an anvil with my chisel, and the aim is to get your hoop sitting nicely on the handle end here and have it sit flush with not much resistance, so you can kind of push it on and have it sit there flush. So to do that, there's two ways you can do it. You can get an anvil and kind of hammer, compress the wood. I'll be doing that, but you can also kind of do the more drastic method and kind of file or cut away some wood so that it fits. So basically all you do is you kind of go round, nice and evenly. And just keep kind of trial fitting. See, this has gone down a little bit further now, so I still need to go a while more. I might actually even have to shave a bit of the handle away, but you just want to keep going and kind of either smacking it or filing or whatever to get this hoop at the same level with, you know, ease, so you don't have to kind of push it down or hammer it or anything like that. So just keep going at that. And I'll get back to you once I've done that, and then we can kind of put that on properly. So now I've got the hoop set nicely. You can see it can go on, and just with a little bit of pressure I've got this flush, and I can take this off. It's a little tight, which is nice, but it can go on and off nice and easily without any hammers and tapping and stuff. So once you've got to that stage, now this is where this contraption comes in. This is a chisel hoop setter. You can see it's got a conical section in here, so basically it will just contact the hoop only. So when you hammer on this end, the hoop will get pushed down and the wood will come out. You can buy these all over the place in Japan, but I'm guessing that you can't get these overseas very easily. If you can find one, great, use it, but if you can't, get a block of wood, get a Forstner bit, and drill 2 holes. Well, I guess you don't need one. Kind of measure the shaft diameter here, and drill a hole so that it's deep enough. You could probably actually use this, the piece that you used to get the hoop off in the first place, if you didn't make the hole too big and your wood was kind of sturdy. But basically you just want a hole so that, I don't know if you can actually see this, it will just clear this handle but give support on the hoop only. And this will let you kind of, well, tap it like this. A more secure way to do it would be to drill a double hole. So first get a Forstner bit and drill this diameter here of the actual hoop so that it will sit nicely. So it won't wobble around all over the place, so it kind of sits. And then drill a second hole in there, which is the diameter of your handle here, so that this will give it obviously clearance, so when you tap it down the wood will clear. Make that one about 3mm deep, so that gives you a kind of depth stop sort of arrangement, and that way you can kind of just balance it over the top here and not have it kind of fall off all over the place. So again, I'm going to be using this thing obviously, and to do it, basically, there's two ways you can do it. If you've got a really thin chisel, this is kind of maybe on the limits of doing it by kind of resting the chisel in a soft piece of wood and tapping on the top. This is the best way to do it for if you have a wide chisel. Anything over like 6mm wide is pretty strong enough to handle this. But this is actually 6mm, and this is a dovetail and quite delicate, I'm guessing. So I'm going to be doing it the handheld way, and that's just by holding it on the end and just hammering it on like so. It's quite simple, and basically you just keep going at it until you get this hoop down below the handle end about 2 or 3mm. And just keep going until you do it. And then the next thing will be to mushroom over, but I'll get back to you once I do that. So here you can see I've got a little bit of the head protruding here all the way around. It's about 2mm just under. That's about right. So next thing you need to do is to mushroom it over. I've put a drop of water on here to expand out the wood again after the compression, and also to make it softer so you can kind of mushroom it over. And basically all you do is you kind of give glancing blows with your hammer to mushroom the top over. And basically, the more you smack it, the more this will eventually mushroom over. So even if you don't get it fully mushroomed now, while you actually work and use the hammer to kind of hit it, it will gradually kind of mushroom over. And this just helps to lock the hoop in place. And it'll look pretty ugly, but this is a working tool, not a showpiece. And I actually think a well-worn tool looks better than a pristine one anyway. But so here we go. This is kind of like very lightly mushroomed. The point of doing this is basically the hoop's kind of job is to stop the handle from splitting. There's a tang driven up here which connects the actual chisel blade, and obviously if you don't have any kind of hoop or anything and you start hammering on the end here, this will eventually split if you hit it on the edge or whatever, and the hoop prevents the handle at the top from splitting and doing stuff. But the mushrooming kind of prevents the hoop from coming back out, and it gives a solid contact for your hammer, so it transfers the blow into the blade. So next up we want to prepare the blade.